Okay, now you have the organizational chart and you probably see yourself in a few too many boxes. That's okay and very typical for entrepreneurs. So now let's work on designing a plan to move that owner absentee role and get more money for your business. Good news. There is a formula for getting yourself out of these roles. Some roles are more valuable than others. One thing that buyers are conscious of is risk. Buyers have two big fears when they're buying a business. One is the customers will go away, and two is that the employees will go away. They want to ensure that people are doing business and working for the company, not just the owner. So, when preparing to sell the business, the strategy is to remove yourself from the riskiest roles first. One, revenue generating roles. This could be sales or marketing. Whichever role in your business is most critical to revenue is the one that needs to be the least reliant on you. If not, what happens when you go away? The sales do as well. This is a good practice not just in preparing to sell, but in managing businesses in general. During a new business, the owner is crucial to generating revenue, but at some point that needs to flip. A good key performance metric is the percentage of revenue generated by the owner. It should ideally decline to less than 30% over time. Two is customer-facing roles. These roles are typically customer service, account management, or even related to some production. You want to make sure that the customers are doing business with the company, not just because they like you as an owner. Losing customers in this area after a sale affects revenue as well. If the revenue goes down after closing, the buyer faces a dangerous situation, and as a seller, there may be repercussions for you as well. 3, production roles. If you produce a physical product or even a proprietary service, it's helpful that you remove yourself from this role or train someone within your staff to handle it. The likelihood of finding a buyer in the marketplace that knows how to replicate your skills is low. So we once sold a dental manufacturing business. Yes, like if you need a tooth replaced or get veneers, this company manufactures your new teeth. Here's an interesting fact for you though. Teeth can be manufactured two ways, by machine or by hand. You might see where I'm going with this. Well, our client was kind of old school and had been manufacturing teeth by hand in his own proprietary method for 20 years and never showed anyone else how to do it. When retirement came and he decided to sell, he hired our firm. Well, you can imagine how many buyers we found that had hand tooth manufacturing experience. That's right, none. Luckily for him and us, we did find a buyer that was willing to take on the risk, but he got much less than his asking price. He received almost all seller financing, and he signed a 5-year employment agreement to stay on manufacturing teeth. So much for retirement. But the biggest move the buyer made that first year, he hired the old owner a few apprentices and had him teach them his method, and they were ready to take over the hand carving within 6 months. Just think, if the previous owner had taken the same action, how many more buyers would there have been? How much more would he have received for the sale? This is a good example of why it is important that no critical functions in your business, like production, are reliant on you. The fourth role is employee management roles. This is usually the last seat that the owner gets out of, which moves the business into a full absentee ownership business. This is not critical, but it does make a large difference in the sale price and also starts to pick up interest from strategic and investment buyers like private equity, which can pay more than the corporate buyers we've been speaking about. Now that we have covered the most critical roles to remove yourself from, I want you to go back to that organizational chart. Do you sit in any of these roles? If so, create a plan of attack. Which role are you going to remove yourself from first? Now, removing yourself does not always mean adding expenses to the business. Ask yourself, is there someone on the team that is already capable of this role? Is there someone maybe you need to replace so that that person is capable of this role? Are there methods that you can employ to automate or reduce this role for yourself, like technology, outsourcing, or internships? Are there other expenses in the business you can cut in order to make room for a part-time or full-time hire? While we want to reduce our roles in the business, we always want to keep our eye focused on the bottom line when preparing for sale.